For those who don't know me, I'm Stephanie, and I've been coming here for 2.5 years. I was born in a non-Christian home, and I'm the oldest of 3 kids. And when I was around the age of 4 or 5, I began to go to Sunday school at a church called Sorreville Baptist Church. It was a friend of the family who invited me to go with their daughter. So from then on, I would go to Sunday school every Sunday. It would be me and my family would go to breakfast, and then we would go to Sunday. So you could say I'm a church kid since I was the age of 4. Even though my parents were believers, they still let me attend Sunday school and let me go to and then they would come to the Christmas plays. When I began school, I started going to the kids club, and at the end of each year, the prize for the kid who had the most points was a free week at Camp Livingstone. Mm-hmm. And the year I turned 9, I was the one who won the prize, and that was a big change for me. It was during that summer. It was during that summer that I remember praying to God with my cabin leader, asking him to forgive me my sins, and thanking him for sending his son to suffer and die on the cross for me, even though I deserved every one of those sufferings. Obviously, it wasn't so well said, but you can get the gist of it. From then on, I still did the whole Sunday school kids club, and when I was older, the youth group thing with the church, and I went to camp every summer till I was age 14, and Trisha was my counselor one year. So when I turned 15, I became junior staff at the camp. I'd always want to become staff because I remember when I was younger, some of the older kids, they became staff when I was still like in the in-between, and I was like, I want to be staff. So that summer that I started, it was really hard because it's a lot of work. But I noticed a thing. As staff, I started to see a difference what it means to live as a Christian. Before, I just thought it was like going to Sunday school, learning your verses and stuff like that. But I started to see what it's really about. By being around other Christians 24/7 and all that, I started to understand that there was more to growing in a relationship with the Lord. During my time as staff at Camp Livingstone, I learned that you have to pray to God, you have to have an actual relationship with Him, reading the Bible, praying, I don't know how to say it. And it was during that time that I grew the most. When I was 17, there was a speaker at teen camp whose name is Dave Mills, and I remember that on the Monday night he was talking about something. I don't even remember what the subject was, but I just felt the Holy Spirit working me in that night. And during snack time, I just remember being in my cabin with my senior cabin leader, and we were just praying. And it was during that night that I rededicated my life to Christ. After that summer, I headed off to Stage for 4 years, and I was still staff during the summer. God was able to provide for me with enough financial support to let me keep going to be able to continue doing short-term missions during the summer at camp, and being able to go to school full-time during the year without having to get a part-time job. And I think it was because that I was so involved with the camp ministry that I didn't stray from the Lord during that time, starting my life as a young adult. Even though I wasn't from a Christian home, I was still surrounded by other Christians who include Brian and Carol Murphy, who are the directors at the camp, who, as I've grown as a Christian, they've been really involved with my life because during the year there's retreats, and I would stay at their place, so I basically lived part-time at the camp during the fall and the summer. So they've helped me grow in that, and a big supporter was also Kent Osborne, so that many of you know. He's known me since I was 15, and he's been a very strong support. When I was about to graduate as Cégep, another thing happened. I moved to Montreal. And my original plan was to stay in Sherbrooke and get a job there, but things changed. A month before I graduated, I found out I didn't get hired at the job that I wanted. So after I got over my shock, I sent out my CVs, and within a week I was hired at Verdun General. So within that month, I got a new job. I had to find an apartment, get all the furniture I needed, and move while still doing my studies full-time and studying for my finals. But obviously everything got done, and I found everything, and so that's pretty much God was telling me, this is where I want you to be in Montreal. So that was like, okay. And I started attending Grace Church about 2.5 years ago after being suggested to come by the directors at the camp and other people that I know from the area. It was here that I was able to understand the importance of being baptized. It's a command that Christ gave the disciples. In Matthew 28:19 it says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you, and behold, I am with you always to the end of the age." It's because of this commandment of the witness of other people that I am finally heeding the call of the Spirit to make this public declaration of my faith.
Awesome.
Stephanie?